I've got 4 complete socket sets ranging from $15 all the way up to $115. What's gonna break first? Now, I've had my Harbor Freight Pittsburgh set forever, and when I saw that this was just as cheap with no skips, I had to pick one up. Along with a VEVOR, QUINN, and the Icon. I picked this setup from TEMU for $15. It's the SEDY? I don't know. Who cares? Let's see what's inside. It's a 54 piece. You get both shallow and deep wall in both SAE and metric. Metric goes from 4 to 14, and then SAE from 5/32 up to 9/16. Swivel bit holder, a spinner handle. Well, this one's got a socket, 1/4 inch of course, so you can actually make this another extension thing. I haven't ever used one like this, but hey, I don't know, might come in handy. When you close it, make sure you go top down, and that's because these are all pressed in so they do not fall out. The VEVOR was almost double the price at $28. Still a smoking deal. Very similar to the TEMU in that it is another 54 piece. You know, you got extensions, everything. Still the same 4 to 14, 5/32 to 9/16. Shallow, deep, swivel, spinner, bit, ratchet. Only difference is that this swivel does not have the socket on the end. Now onto the QUINN, which is a little less than double the VEVOR, and Fetcher, how do you get these? Man! Now that we got the case open, we got another 54 piece. Look at that, extensions, everything. Wait a minute. Does this now look almost identical to, say, the first TEMU? Oh, I'm not even gonna say almost. These are identical, definitely made in the same factory. Both the TEMU and VEVOR sets said that they were all chrome vanadium. Now the QUINN, when you look it up online, it says that it's chrome vanadium and some chromoly. The spinner handle is one of the only parts that says chrome vanadium, and nothing else on the sockets or the ratchet or anything says chromoly. So I'm not sure what parts on the QUINN set are actually chromoly. Last but not least, the Icon, which is coming in at more than double of the QUINN at $112. And of course, it's another 54, oh, nope, not even 54 piece, it's the 48 piece. And that is because they took out the 4 and the 4.5 millimeter sockets, and they also do not include the bit adapter or a spinner handle. The Icons do have their nice foam inserts that you can take out and put in your toolbox if you'd like. Some common questions I saw in the reviews were, are they 6 or 12-point sockets? And every single one of them is a 6-point socket, which Torque Test channel, awesome channel by the way, did a review and tested out the actual torques and if there's a difference between, oh snap. And they show that 6 points are way better and can far output more torque than a 12-point. So these sockets have some similarities and differences. Already mentioned they are all 6-point. The Icon's got their name engraved on there, and then there's a little step right here, versus the QUINN's got a groove up here, which I do like the red for SAE and the blue for metric. The VEVOR's got it stamped right here. The TEMU's got it stamped in here, a little step right here, and a knurled ring all the way around each socket. Here's the Icon, and I would love to know the engineering or thought behind this. Check out how deep the actual socket portion goes. The Icon really is only as deep as the shallow, versus the rest of them, they go back about 2/3. Let me know some scenarios and if you've run into any issues with that being so shallow. The number of teeth on the actual ratchets. Well, both the QUINN and the Icon have 90 tooth ratchets. Take a look at how much shallower the QUINN is versus the Icon. And it's not flush, it goes in a bit right there. Not sure if that takes away some of the meat of those teeth. The TEMU and VEVOR do not say how many teeth are on their ratchet, so I did do a little count, and I'm definitely getting less than 90. I counted about 72, about that. The QUINN is longer as well. Now the TEMU and the VEVOR, wait a minute, maybe this is the TEMU. They're identical. Yes, these two ratchets, I mean, short of just maybe being a hair longer, you know, this one's got like an extra little groove right there. These ratchets are identical, same number of teeth. They've definitely got a fat head, especially compared to the QUINN. Man, I still can't get over how thin the QUINN is. The Icon has a very sturdy metal switch to go back and forth. The QUINN is also metal, but it's just a lot more flimsier. It is easier to switch back and forth, but that might be a detriment when you're actually doing sockets of it popping off or switching on you. And the VEVOR and the TEMUs are both the same and right in the middle of about the size and the force to switch it back and forth between the QUINN and the Icon. Since the TEMU and the VEVOR have identical ratchets, they're not bad. They do go smoothly. But this QUINN is definitely a step up. You can totally tell with that little extra length in the handle, that just gives you a lot better comfort grip. And that shallow head I can really see coming into play with some tight situations. And now the Icon, man, that ratchets smoothly and just the movement is beautiful for that one. The cheaper ones come with a push button lock, which I actually like. Can you use an impact with these? Now, here's the bottom line. All manufacturers for sockets like these that aren't impact rated will say, no, you can't use an impact with the sockets. Now, here's my take on what I've learned. Can you use an air impact? Definitely not with the sockets, but these are 1/4 inch sockets, so you're gonna be needing adapters, and I guarantee those adapters are going to break before the socket. But these smaller type hex key impacts, yes, I've had zero issues with any of my sets, even the Pittsburgh. I've used this guy with my Pittsburgh sets so many times, had zero issues with the sockets themselves, and I've always broken the actual bit itself before a socket. So, yes and no. This is a 3/8 inch grade 8 bolt, and it should take 40 to 50 foot-pounds of torque, and each one of these ratchets and sockets had no issues with that. And of course I wanted to up it even more, and it started to tail off for the Icon, and I was kind of wondering what it was. Well, it was actually this little adapter, and then I threw on the cheap TEMU, and I just was gonna go all out until something broke. Keep in mind, I had to use a breaker bar because there is no way you're gonna be able to put that much force on it just by hand with what it comes with. That socket and adapter went up to 70+ inch-pounds, and it was the adapter again. So if I had to go out today and buy another one, well, sorry Icon, it would not be you. Don't get me wrong, this set is awesome. It's just that I don't use them enough to make it worth the price. Now, I was blown away with both the VEVOR and the TEMU. Now, you don't get warranties with these ones, but with how cheap it is, I mean, it's almost like a throwaway socket set. So pick up 1 or 2 and just throw it in the back of the truck. So then now that leaves us with the good old QUINN. Now, despite having an insanely, that is hard case to open, I'm still going with this because this is going to be the set that I'm putting here in my toolbox. And with that good old ratchet, nope, that one's the Icon, with this nice, longer, skinny, shallow ratchet, it just makes it a perfect deal. And most people know that the Icons have a lifetime warranty, but so do the QUINN. So yet another reason why it's a great deal to pick it up. Tell me what you end up picking up or what you've already got. See you next time.